I mean, look, we all knew coming into this one that Texas was going to be the heavy favorite. They're a powerhouse program. We knew San Jose State was going to be a tough opponent. They nearly pulled off a massive upset last week against USC, but still, this felt like one of those David and Goliath matchups that we see every week in college football. And while it wasn't quite as close as some of those other ones, it was still pretty entertaining. Now, if you didn't catch the game live, here's a quick rundown of what happened. In the first quarter, Texas came out firing. I mean, they looked like the better team right from the start. Their offensive line was pushing around San Jose State's defensive line. Their quarterback was making good decisions, connecting with his receivers. And their running backs were finding holes and making big plays. On the flip side, San Jose State's offense looked decent in spurts, but Texas' front seven was just too much for them to handle. Whether it was a run play or a pass play, Texas seemed to be in the backfield causing havoc. The first quarter ended with Texas taking an early lead, and it was clear that San Jose State had their work cut out for them if they wanted to pull off the upset. The second quarter continued in the same fashion. Texas continued to move the ball offensively, and San Jose State struggled to get anything going. Texas scored a couple more times before halftime, and suddenly they had a commanding lead. Now, to their credit, the Spartans did manage to put some points on the board late in the second quarter. They had a solid drive that culminated in a touchdown pass. It was nice to see San Jose State's quarterback make a play like that. He looked poised in the pocket, went through his reads, and made a nice throw. But overall, it was a bit of an anomaly. Texas defense was stifling San Jose State's rushing attack, and that made life tough for the Spartans. Regardless, they went into halftime down 2 scores, and that's not an insurmountable deficit. But they needed to find a way to stop Texas' big plays if they were going to have any chance of mounting a comeback. Texas came out in the second half and wasted no time extending their lead. They scored on their first possession of the third quarter, and then they added another touchdown shortly after. At this point, the game was effectively over. San Jose State turned the ball over on downs, and Texas capitalized with yet another touchdown. To be honest, this game wasn't nearly as competitive as some of the other ones we've seen this season. Texas was simply too talented and too well coached. San Jose State played hard, but they couldn't match up with the Longhorns. Here's the thing about Texas. They're not just a one-dimensional team that relies on a strong defense or a high-powered offense. They're good on both sides of the ball. And that's what makes them so dangerous. When you have a team that can score at will and prevent their opponents from scoring, you're going to win a lot of games. And based on what we've seen so far this season, Texas is well on their way to doing just that. As for San Jose State, they showed a lot of heart and determination. They never quit, and that's something you can always appreciate. But ultimately, Texas was just too much for them to handle. This game was a wake-up call for San Jose State, and they'll need to use it as motivation to improve in the coming weeks. But for Texas, this was a statement game. They're a legitimate threat in the Big 12 Conference, and they're a team that could make some noise in the national championship race. Thanks for watching, guys. Do you agree with my assessment of Texas? Are they a legitimate national championship contender, or are you a bit more skeptical? Let me know in the comments below. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel tremendously. And consider subscribing for more college football coverage. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.